この後もう間もなくで競技が始まります。午後1時から競技スタートという予定になっておりますので、今しばらくお待ちください。
Eight months have passed since we last saw the United States' Jordan Stalls and Japan's Miho Takagi dominate on the ice. But even with the new season, this weekend's results in Nagano have told us one thing: nothing has really changed at all. Takagi has followed up her double world titles with a pair of golds in this World Cup opener. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old Stoltz cementing himself as the new face of the sport. He's claimed gold in the 500, the 1,000, the 1,500. We'll see Jordan on the ice again today to try to win a fourth as he skates in the second running of the 500 meters. He's now run his World Cup winning streak to 11 consecutive races and has once again put the speed skating world on notice. No one can stop Stoltz. From the M-Wave, the Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena in Nagano, Japan, welcome to the final day of ISU's coverage of World Cup Nagano. Skating greetings, everyone watching in North America on Peacock and around the world on the ISU YouTube channel. Patrick Keenis with you, and it's a full slate of racing on this final day. But we'll be clipping along at a pretty good pace, quick races and big names. We'll kick things off with the team pursuit. We'll then move to the second 500-meter event of the weekend. And then we'll clog up the ice with the always unpredictable mass start, and then close things out with a fairly new speed skating event, the mixed relay. Today we'll see Norway's double medalist from this weekend, Sander Eitram, as part of Norway's team pursuit squad on the men's side. On the women's side, world champion Joy Bjorn, part of the Dutch's women's team pursuit squad. And then we will see American Jordan Stoltz. He targets a fourth gold as he goes off in the final pair of the men's 500. And what I'm really waiting for the most, besides Stoltz, the biggest surprise of the weekend, Japan's very own Yukino Yoshida. She stunned the star field on Friday in claiming the women's 500 meter. And the 21-year-old beat Erin Jackson, Kimmy Getz, and Kim Min-sun again. We'll find out in a few minutes. So we welcome you. Hopefully you enjoyed this rapid weekend. It's funny how we wait so long for the new season to begin, and then these World Cup weekends just fly by in the blink of an eye. But that's where we are, day 3 here in Nagano. And not a lot of surprises with the exception of Yoshida on the opening day here in Nagano. But Jordan Stoltz with a couple of track records and winning the 500, the 1,000, the 1,500. David Giotto of Italy set a track record yesterday in the 5,000. Evgeny Blondin will see the Canadian sensation on the ice today. She won a surprising gold in the 3,000 meters yesterday. We'll see her on the ice a couple of times here today in the team pursuits initially, and then a little bit later on, she'll be a heavy favorite to get to the podium, if not win gold, in the women's mass starts. So that's what we're looking at here today. Pretty good crowd on this final day in Nagano. And the World Cup season will continue next week. Beijing, China will play host to the second World Cup event here in this brand new season. Then a couple of months off before it returns back in North America. Calgary in late January, Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the United States into the first couple of days of February, and then the European two stops will kick off in mid to late February, overlapping briefly into March, and that will lead us up to the World Championships, single distance, and then the sprints and all-around championships to wrap up the year. So just like that, here we go. It is the team pursuit. We'll see three pairs here, and in this opening pair, there are the Dutch, the reigning Olympic bronze medals, but they won the World Championship about 8 months ago in a big surprise. And it will be China opposing the Dutch in this opening pair. Poland and the United States will be in pair 2, and then we'll see Japan against the defending Olympic champion Canadian side coming up. Choi Byun, Antoinette de Jong, and Martje Groeneveld of the Netherlands. China with Han Mei. She's in the white armband right in the foreground. Yang Bin-yu and Anar Adake. Those are the three on the ice for Team China.
Ready.
So here we go in the first pair of the team pursuit. The Dutch, again, as I mentioned, the world champs about 8 months ago, but they were ranked number 10 through the World Cup season. They only reached the podium once. It was a third-place finish, but the squad got disqualified in the event in Poland, and that cost them a lot of points, which is why the ranking was so far down. But they will be a team to contend with here in this team pursuit. 6 squads across 3 pairs. Byun is in the white armband, de Jong in the red, Groeneveld in the yellow. We get our first look at the splits. 33-51 for the Dutch, 34-16 for China. Han Mei, silver medalist in the 1,500 meters on the opening day here in Nagano. Right now leading the way of this trio in that white armband on her left arm. 6-lap race. And the Dutch still on top by about 1.5 seconds. And we see the tight trio for the Netherlands. Jones still leading the way. De Jong behind her, and then Groeneveld. Fingers clasped from skater to skater to skater. Perfect synchronicity as the Dutch cross the line, still in front, 3 laps to go. Pick up another half second on China on that half lap. In the United States, we'll have Brittany Bowe, Yanello, Greta Myers as their 3. Japan, we will see Miho Takagi on the ice again. She will headline the Japanese side. Canada with their very familiar 3. They've been tethered in this event for several years. Malte, Blondin, and Weideman. See what the opening time is going to be here for the Dutch. Clearly in the lead in this first pair. So look at Han Mei leading the way for China. There the Dutch crossing the line, 1 lap to go. The Dutch over 4.5 seconds clear of China in this pairing. Still Byun, who's been a little bit under the weather over the last few weeks coming out of the Dutch Nationals, but has been on the podium a couple of times this week, and in the 1,500 and in the 3,000 of bronze yesterday. And leads the Serpentine Dutch across the line to 56.80 for Team Netherlands, and China will cross in 3:02.10.
Finishing time for Team China, 3:02.10.
2:56.80 for the Dutch. De Jong, Groeneveld set the time. Again, it depends on the location, depends on the sea level, depends on the ice. It's hard to compare times from the gold medal squads from a year ago across the World Cup. Those winning times, range anywhere from 254 in Salt Lake City for Team Canada. Japan won in Obihiro at 258. And Japan won in Poland at 3 minutes flat. So now ready for the second pair. There is Team USA, Brittany Bowe in the white, Manganello in the red, and Greta Myers in the yellow. Fourth-ranked squad over the course of the World Cup season a year ago. There is Team Poland. They rank number 3 across the classification. Olga Piotrowska, Natalia Jabric, and Karolina Bosiak. Bosiak in the yellow, Piotrowska in the white.
Ready.
So the Dutch in the clubhouse at 256.80. Looks like Brittany Bowe is going to set the pace here for Team USA. Manganello settles behind her, then Greta Myers sprinting off the line, at least with an idea of the time to beat, but Japan and Canada wait on deck. Poland last year did win a bronze in Poland in the team pursuits. It was their only World Cup medal during the last campaign. United States, meanwhile, bronze in Salt Lake City. An extremely capable squad. There's a look again at the tight Polish squad. Right now, the United States sitting about 0.2 of a second off of the pace set by the Dutch. 4 laps to go. Men's team pursuit will follow. And the Americans will be one of the favorites. The defending world champions from Italy will be in the second pair on the men's side. That will follow these 3 pairs on the women's side. The United States still a little under a second behind the pace set by the Dutch. Again, the Dutch, the reigning world champs. United States squad, Bowe, Manganello, and Myers. Still Bowe out front. Right there, a tight look at her. Manganello in the red armband. There's Greta Myers behind her. The United States will cross here, losing some ground to the Dutch, about 1.5 seconds behind with 2 laps to go. And the Dutch over the last 2 laps went 29.1 and 29.4. We'll check the splits, the intervals, and see how Team USA matches up. If they're able to pick up some ground, they'll need to pick up some pretty good time on the Dutch on this lap here. They're about 1.5 seconds behind. They'll need to shave that down to maybe less than 1 second, if not a little bit more. And they lose more time. A 15:27 half lap, and the U.S. in trouble as they come around that penultimate corner. Laboring a bit, losing touch just a tad. And the Dutch, again with Bjorn moving on for Adrian Schouten, who retired to the top of the world last year after winning a world championship. Bjorn, the new member of the 3 for the Dutch, and there's the U.S. crossing over 4 seconds behind Team Netherlands. 3:01.01 for the U.S., 3:04.98 for Poland. So Team USA just does sneak in front of China. But again, 1 more pair to go, and that is Japan, the Olympic silver medal squad, and Team Canada, who is really one of the most consistent teams and veteran teams here in women's team pursuits over the last few years. Can't imagine Team USA is thrilled at all with that routine. Yeah, the U.S. closed 31 seconds, 31 plus, 31.07. It appears that if my math is right in that final lap. They were over 30 seconds each of the last couple of laps. Not going to get it done. So now the final pairing for the women's team pursuit. It is Japan and Canada. There's a look at Team Canada.
Valerie Monte, Ivani Blondin, and Beatrice
And they have made a sub as Isabel Weideman was scheduled to be part of Team Canada. She has been scratched, and Beatrice LaMarche in the blue armband is out there along with Melte and Blondine. So not sure what's happened with Weideman on the change, because that has been a very consistent trio for Team Canada. The Olympic champs. Those are the three that won the Olympic gold medal for Canada in Beijing.
Ready.
So an early plot twist for Team Canada. Japan, meanwhile, is out there with Miho Takagi, Ayana Seto. They were part of the Olympic silver medal team in Beijing behind Canada. And Momoko Horikawa, who is in for Nana Takagi, who is the Takagi sisters, as part of that silver medalist squad in Beijing. So there's a look at Team Japan. Miho Takagi in the white armband. Horikawa in the red, Seto in the yellow. So to check the early splits, both Japan and Canada underneath what we saw from the Dutch over the first lap. Again, you talk about the chemistry between Weideman and Blondine and Melte. You wonder how that may change now as LaMarche, that blue armband, she peels off a bit as she led the way for the first lap and a half. But there's no Weideman on this crew for Team Canada today. We'll see how that impacts Team Canada's technique, their timing, and their final numbers. They're still underneath the pace of the Netherlands. Here's a look at the Japanese squad, still Miho Takagi. Resolute focus at the top, tight. Canada a short lead in this one with 3 laps to go on Japan, but now Canada has fallen off of the pace set by the Dutch. Again, remember, the Dutch only one podium finish last year in the 3 events of the World Cup, but they did win the World Championships as the season wound down. And they are in the lead on a pair 1. And we'll see if Canada is able to put things together, or Takagi in Japan. And Japan has now taken the lead, but they're still better than a second behind the Dutch with inside 2 laps to go. We'll see now Blondine leading the way for Team Canada. LaMarche now in the middle of that pack. They're losing touch a little bit. Melte nudging LaMarche ahead. And this is not the cohesiveness we're used to seeing from Team Canada at all. Japan in front, still better than a second behind, final lap. So the eyes will now look on Japan. Can they make up a second and a quarter in this final lap? The Dutch finished their final lap in 29.4. It's a tall order for Team Japan. The Nagano fans get underneath them as Japan comes down the final corner, and they are not going to do it. They will finish silver, 2:58.11, and Team Canada closes in a very disappointing 5th place. And the Dutch, the reigning world champs, have claimed gold in the World Cup opener here in Nagano. Joa Byun, Antoinette de Jong, Martika Gromov, and Team USA. That's in the infield, will also be on the podium, claiming bronze.
Next competition will be men's team pursuit. Start at 1:27, 13:27.
So Japan is on the podium, claiming silver. The Dutch win it, and they win it by almost a second and a third. And the United States, even with that 3:01.01, good enough for bronze. As Canada in particular had to sub in Beatrice LaMarche for Weideman. And as a result, not the type of effort we're used to seeing from Team Canada here in the team pursuit. So gold to the Dutch. Took the Olympic bronze in Beijing behind Canada and Japan, and again had the 1 DQ in Poland last year that cost them a lot of points and some rankings, but out of the opening pair. I mean, this is a convincing win for the Dutch. And Bjorn subbing in for Schouten, who retired a few months ago, certainly has strengthened the Dutch side, and they win handily over Japan and the U.S. Canada again finishing 5th. So that's going to be a buoy of confidence for the Dutch. And he stuck out of the element of surprise for Team USA on the infield after Canada crossed the line a distant 5th. The U.S. getting onto the podium, and you feel like they probably left a lot of time on the ice, but still on the podium, winning silver, or probably winning bronze. So again, the order of finish: the Dutch, Japan, and USA. So the Zambonis are out on the ice. They will resurface. And when we come back, it'll be the men's team pursuit. We'll see 3 pairs, China and Canada in the opening pair, Italy and the Netherlands in the second, and Norway and the United States. The Olympic champion Norwegian side and the U.S., the top-ranked team pursuit men's squad out of the World Cup last season. They will be in the final pair. So again, stay tuned. We are just getting started on closing day from Nagano.
In 5 minutes, we'll be returning to our next race, Team Pursuit for men for Division A skaters. Skaters participating in the first race, please get ready.
競技開始5分前です。この後行われます競技は男子チームパシュートです。
さあ、モニターにはスタンドの映像が映っています。先ほどはご覧のですね、ナウ選手はじめ選手の皆さんがノリノリで音楽に合わせて踊ってくれてました。アップしてます。皆さん盛り上がってますか？これは堀川学院の皆さんですか？堀川学院の皆さん盛り上がってますね。それぞれの楽しみ方で盛り上がっていただいていますね。さあ、この後も、レースが続きます男子チームパシュートも間もなくということですので、こちらも熱い声援お願いいたします。
Back to the M-Wave, the Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena, as we see the start list for the men's team pursuit. 3 pairs, China, Canada, pair 1, Italy and the Dutch in pair 2, and then the United States and Norway. The Norwegians, the reigning Olympic champions. Now, when you take a look at what happened last year in the team pursuit, the same 3 countries were on the podium in all 3 of the team pursuit World Cup events. Norway, Italy, and the United States, all jumbled in various finishing positions, but no other country got on the podium besides those 3. The United States claimed a couple of team pursuit wins. Norway, the other. Norway, as a matter of fact, was on the podium with a second, with a third. The U.S. 2 wins and a third. And the Italians took a silver in Obihiro, a silver in Poland, and they took a silver again, or probably they took a bronze in Salt Lake City. So we will see each of those 3 teams here. We will open up with the opening pair, China and Canada. So you have China, Canada, and the Dutch trying to break onto the podium, break the streak. We'll see Liu Hanbin of China, Wu Yu, Kong Zhenlong, the 3 for Team China. Canada out there with Connor Howe. Here's a look at Team China. Liu is in the white armband. Wu in the red. Kong in the yellow. Team Canada with Connor Howe. He'll be in the white armband. Zedjan Bloman in the red. Hayden Mayor in the yellow. And there's a look at Team Canada. Mayor in the background. Connor Howe in the whites. He will set things up. The veteran, the 38-year-old Zedjan Bloman right in the middle. Tallest of the 3, clearly, as well.
Starting from the finishing straight is Team China. Hanbin Liu, Yu Wu, and Chen
So the introductions for China, they will be on their home ice next week. World Cup 2 in Beijing next weekend. And again, we'll have coverage of that on Peacock, on the ISU YouTube channel, all around North America and all around the world.
Ready.
You could add the age of two of the skaters for China, and they would not reach the age of the man in the middle of your screen right there, Ted-Jan Bloemen, who's 38 years of age. Liu Hanbin is 18, and Kong Zhenlong in the yellow armband for Team China is 19. So they're 37 years old combined, and Ted-Jan Bloemen, the oldest competitor this weekend at the age of 38. He's right in the middle there in the red armband for Team Canada. But does he ever have a speed skating portfolio over his career? So away we go. One lap in the books. Canada 31:59 opening lap. And Italy will be matched up against the Dutch in the second pair, Norway and the U.S. in the third and final pair. Just 6 teams in this men's team pursuits this weekend in Nagano. China and Canada finished respectively number 5 and 6 in the World Cup rankings a year ago. But again, neither of these teams cracked the podium. So far this weekend for Canada, Laura Dubray, a silver medal. It is the only medal on the men's side this weekend in Nagano. Meanwhile, even a Blondine, 1 gold in the 3,000 meter. Even this weekend with pretty high expectations. Blondine one more time after a 5th place finish in the team pursuit a couple of minutes ago. Blondine will be a heavy favorite to get on the podium in the mass start. Malte, also a strong candidate to get on the podium, if not win the mass start. That's a little bit later on in our program today. Canada looking in pretty good synchronicity right now. China almost 4 seconds in the rear of Team Canada. Check the interval here for the Canadians, a 13:82 half lap, 2:19.86 with 3 laps to go for Canada. Look at China trying to hang tight together, pick up a little bit of time on Canada. Still time to maybe not come all the way back, but certainly close with a strong finish as Canada crosses with 2 laps to go, 2:47.72. The lead is shrinking by a couple of tenths per lap. Howard still leading the way for Canada. Lead down to 3.4. So again, China picking up about 0.15 a half lap. We'll check the splits here. They only picked up about 0.07 of a second there. So Canada in line to win its pair, but the question is, will the time be competitive enough to put them on the podium? The top teams around the world last year will follow. So the late push by Howe, Bloemen, and Mayor. They fan out across the ice. The clock will stop as the final skater crosses. 3:44.58 for Team Canada. 3:47.67. So China did kind of chisel away at that deficit. It was almost 4 seconds. And they made it 3.09 as far as a deficit goes by the time they cross. So that is certainly unlikely to reach the podium for Team China. Canada probably wouldn't put money on making a podium with that time, but 3:44.58 is their time with 2 pairs to go. Now they will head back to the infield, replay the race in their minds while they're taking a look at the teams on the ice, and the clock's up on the big jumbotron here, and be kind of walking through where they lost time, how they could have gone faster, corners, the drafting, where they could have picked up more time. Now ready for the second pair. There's Team Netherlands. Venemars, Snelling, Chris Heisinger. Those are the 3 for the Dutch, and there is Team Italy, the world champs from last year. A couple of seconds and 1/3 in the World Cup season. Giotto, who set a track record in the 5,000 meter yesterday. He's in the white armband for Italy. Fati in the red, Giovannini in the yellow.
Ready.
So clean start, one more pair to go. U.S. and Norway waiting on deck. 3:44.58 right now, the leading time set by Canada. Giotto leads the pack for Italy. And Venemar is in the white armband for the Dutch. Confidence for Team Italy as they cross in the first lap, slightly off the pace of Canada, 31.65. Opening lap for Italy. And then Team Italy, for whatever reason, could not break through in the World Cup season, but it all came together. The confluence of practice, training, timing, and it all came together at the perfect time to win the World Championship back in March. And now the Dutch put together a very solid second lap, and they have the lead wrestled away from Italy a third of the way through the race. And the Dutch still burning things up, 13 low on that intermediate half lap. So Venemar, Snelling, Heisinger putting it together so far. They're better than a second ahead of the Canadians. Again, the Dutch, the fourth-ranked team in the World Cup last year, but not cracking a podium. Trying to put up a formidable time for Team USA and Norway to have to deal with. But if the Dutch can win this pair and take down the time set by Canada, they would get on the podium. We'll see if Italy makes a run at them. They are 4 laps to go. And now we'll check the staying power for Team Netherlands. And the lead shrinking down a bit. Italy picks up about 38 hundredths on that last half lap. So the Italians beginning to find their form. And tighter still. Italy picks up nearly a half second on that half lap. And Italy now is in front. And you see the Dutch beginning to break off a little bit. And Italy rolling now. Better than 2 seconds to the good. Giotto slicing through the air in front of him with Malfatti and Giovannini behind him. And Italy is throttling up in this pair against the Dutch. And again, difficult to compare times from World Cup events last year. Different locations, different elevations, different composition of teams. But after a fairly pedestrian opening lap by Team Italy, they have really rocketed forward, and they are blowing the Dutch away here as we begin to close things down. Davide Giotto, look at that lead now, over 4 seconds on Team Canada, and they're a little more than 4 seconds up on the Dutch in this race. They will fan out. A little bit of a stumble, and Italy will get to the line in 3:39.82. And that will get the Italians certainly on the podium. The question is how high. That was a tremendous race by the Italians over the last 6.5 laps. And yes, thumbs up, well deserved. You know, sometimes you can come into these races, get the thumbs up from Giotto, who led the way in the white armband. You know, we saw on the opening day here in Nagano from a lot of the elite 500-meter skaters, slow times. They have kind of complained it's been choppy ice, tough to kind of get the pressure and get the speed built up, but some rustiness as well from a lot of these skaters. But you know, we saw mid-season form by the Italians here in this team pursuit. That was an excellent race. Now we'll see how that time will hold up against the last 2 remaining teams. So Canada gets bumped off the top, and they will need a lot of help to get a podium finish here, because now we get to the final pair. It's Team USA and Norway. There, look at the Norwegians on their Eitram. He will be in the white armband. He has had a terrific first World Cup events here in Nagano. Silver in the 1500, bronze in the 5000. And they're the familiar faces of the Olympic bronze medal winning team from USA. Casey Dawson, Emery Lehman, Ethan Seprin.
Go to the start.
Those were the three who won bronze for the U.S. But in their very last time taking the ice competitively at the Worlds, a very disappointing fourth.
Ready.
Again, small sample size, only 3 team pursuits in the World Cup last campaign, but the U.S. claimed 2 of those in gold. So to finish not only not winning the World Championship last year, but completely off the podium was a huge disappointment for Team USA. And now is their first chance to officially get on the ice and redeem themselves. So in the white armband, that's Casey Dawson leading the way for the U.S. Emery Lehman is in the red. Ethan Seprin is in the yellow. And we'll check the opening split for the U.S., 31-69. Italy went out in 31-65, so 4 100s behind. Again, you look over the final, I'm just going to scan the last 4 laps for the Italians. They went 26-6, 26-9, 27 flat, and 27-3. And the U.S. 57.98 on that lap. 26-2 for the U.S. And they went 26-4 in that same second lap. And that's where the comparison will be. But right now the U.S. is leading in this pair against Norway, and that's the first order of business for Team USA, to make sure that Dawson, Lehman, and Seprin beat the Norwegians here. And right now, the U.S. approaching the midway mark of this race, looking in pretty good shape. And doesn't really look like they're exerting a lot of energy, but very tight. 4 laps to go is the midway mark. 151.07 for the U.S. This is where the U.S. has to avoid a breakdown. 13:45 right there for the U.S. They lost about 2/10 on that half lap to where the Italians were. We'll check the time now. And the U.S. 3/10 up. That's 13:45. So they lost about 3/10, maybe even 3,500ths on that lap to Team Italy. Will need a change for the U.S. That lead continues to shrink at 13:6 half lap for the U.S. Norway a couple of seconds behind, so let's see if maybe Canada might have a shot to make the podium here. The U.S. dead even with 2 laps to go, but they're losing time to the Italians, who right now are in the clubhouse in the lead. And the U.S. a 13:85 half lap. They're now almost 3/10 behind, and they are bleeding time. And things look awfully good for Giotto, Malfatti, and Giovannini in Team Italy. They have a 7/10 of a second lead. The U.S. and Norway into their final lap. Norway trying to hang on to third, and the United States taking on some water these last couple of laps. And they're further and further behind. That is trying to hang on to the silver medal. Final corner for Dawson, Lehman, and Seprin in the U.S. And you can see them grimace on the face as they come across the line. They will beat Norway, but they will finish 2 seconds off of the pace. And Team Italy claims gold in World Cup Nagano. They were on the podium all 3 times last year, never gold. Couple of silvers, 1 bronze, but that was a demonstrative win by Italy. And they win it by exactly 2 seconds over the United States. and Norway will clip Canada and stay on the podium for bronze.
このレースラスト3周、そして素晴らしい競り合いとなりました。両チーム選手に
This is the opening World Cup event, but you could tell middle of that race when Italy was on the ice against the Netherlands that, I mean, they were blazing, they were in sync, and their times were sharp. And they did not give up time over about the last 5 or 6 laps of that 8-lap race. The United States, from about the 2nd or 3rd lap in, they were losing a couple of tenths per half lap, not necessarily a full lap, and a huge congratulations to Team Italy. Job well done. They've been waiting a couple of years to have this kind of results. And they earned it, because in the end, this was not close.
500-meter race.
So Italy will claim gold of the men's team pursuit. Here are the final results. They have readjusted the time of the U.S. 3:41.83, so it's 2.01 seconds. Italy the gold, the U.S. wins the silver, Norway the bronze, Canada, Netherlands, and China finish 4, 5, 6. So Davide Giotto, who won in track record form yesterday in the men's 5,000 meter, hands Italy its 2nd gold of World Cup Nagano. Again, we'll see the team pursuit over the course of 3 of the 6 World Cup events. Team sprints next week in Beijing, so only 3 opportunities to pick up the 60 points for the winners in each of these events. So Italy on top of the table as they claim gold in Nagano. So they will collect their belongings, and we'll take a bit of a break. And the starts of the 2nd running, the 500 meter, the women will start first, the men will follow. And the opening pair of 10 on the women's side will begin in 16 minutes time, right at the top of the hour. Erin Jackson, Brittany Bowe, Kimi Getz of the United States are all on the slate. But Yukino Yoshida, the 21-year-old from Japan who stunned the speed skating world on Friday by winning the 500-meter gold, can she do it again? She will be in pair 8. So stay tuned. 500 meters, 2nd running of the women's here at World Cup Nagano begins in about 15 minutes time. Don't go anywhere.
非常に今回氷の状態が良好となっております。ここまで3つのトラックレコード、ビッグレコードが叩き出されています。これも全て盛況の、皆さんの努力の賜物ということですね。そうなります。今後のレースもレコード記録が期待できます。どうぞ今後のレース勝敗だけでなく記録も注目してください。さて現在場内ではクイズ&スタンプラリーを行っています。売店にも説明用紙がありますのでぜひ参加してください。
この後行われます表彰式にアルクマが祝福しに来てくれました。長野県の PR キャラクターです。アルクマ PR Master Character for Nagano Prefecture is here to congratulate skaters.
アルクマくんようこそ。 さあみんなに手を振ってますよ。アルクマ軍のリードリーです。
ただいまより女子チームパシュート競技の表彰式を開始いたします。 Victory Ceremony for Team Pursuit Women。 メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞は公益財団法人日本スケート連盟専務理事風谷秀隆より授与されます。 The presenters are Mr. Tron Espeli, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Mr. Hidetaka Kazetani, JSF Secretary General for the gift. Third place, Team USA, Brittany Bowe, Mia Manganello, Greta Myers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Second place, Team Japan, Miho Takagi, Momoka Horikawa, and Ayano Sato.
Thank you.
First place, Team Netherlands, Joy Bjorn, Antoinette Ritma de Jong, and Marike Grunwood.皆様、メダリストたちにもう一度盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。Please give a big round of applause to the medalists. 上で女子チームパシュート競技の表彰式を終了いたします。This concludes the Team Pursuit Women Victory Ceremony. ただいまより男子チームパシュート競技の表彰式を開始いたします。 Victory Ceremony for Team Pursuit Men。 メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞は公益財団法人日本スケート連盟専務理事風谷秀隆より授与されます。 The presenters are Mr. Tron Esperi, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Mr. Hidetaka Kazetani, JSF Secretary General for the gift. Third place, Team Norway. Sandra Adrian, Peter Konsha, Helga Ekebraten. Second place, Team USA. Casey Dawson, Henry Lehman, Ethan Sepran. 1st place, Team Italy, Davide Chioddo, Michele Malfatti, and Andrea Giovannini. 3分39秒82はトラックレコードです。3 minutes .39.82 is the track record.皆様、メダリストたちにもう一度盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。 Please give a big round of applause to the medalists.以上で男子チームパシュート競技の表彰式を終了いたします。This concludes the team pursuit men victory ceremony.
In 2 minutes, we'll be returning to the next competitions. The second race for 500 meters for women. The first pairs, please get ready.
競技開始2分前、競技開始2分前です。それでは女子500メートル2回目1組に出場する選手はご準備ください。
さあこの後2時から女子 500m2 回目となります。さあ、日本からは松橋山田理央選手、そして先日ワールドカップ 500m 初優勝を果たした吉田幸乃選手、さらには稲川くるみ選手が出場。
Back inside the Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena as we wrap up the final day of the opening World Cup of this 2024-2025 season. Full slate of action. First events are already done. Team Netherlands on the women's side wins the team pursuit for the first time in 8 years. And Italy, a thrashing of the U.S., Norway, and all comers on the men's side of the team pursuit. Now we're ready for the second running of the 500 meters. And right there in pair 8, Yukino Yoshida, the 21-year-old from Japan, whose goal this year was simply to reach a podium after a fourth-place finish was her best last year. Stunned the speed skating world on Friday night by winning, not only reaching the podium, but winning the 500 meters. And now she'll feel what pressure is like as she races as the champion earlier this week in the 500. And here's the opening pair, Chen Ying-chu, who was second in the B Division 500 on Friday, but elevated here, as well as her pairmate, Serena Perger of Italy. She finished third in the B Division 500. Chen, one of 2 skaters from Chinese Taipei here at this week's World Cup in Nagano. Chen on the inner, Perger in the outer in the red armband. We did see Chen at the Four Continents a couple of weeks ago. Finished 12th in the 500 there. And she opens in 10:59, which is 1,300s better than she opened on Friday. So a strong start by Chen. We'll see what she can do with the final 400. Chen will finish in the outer. Perger on the inner. And Perger nosing ahead, and we'll get to the line in 38.76.
Finishing time for Yin Chu Chen
That
of
is
Chinese
16
Taipei,
second, or probably 1600s better than what Perger skated on Friday.
ただいまの結果、
So good to get some A division experience, a few more points in the World Cup standings. And Perger, just 20 years of age, betters her time by about 1600s from Friday. Chen clocks in at 38.89. So 10 full pairs, 20 skaters, and a very familiar name here in pair 2. Former world champ, former top-ranked 500-meter skater who struggled a bit last year at this distance, certainly by her standards, and did not kind of reach her standards or close to it back on Friday. That's Vanessa Herzog of Austria. And there's a look at Herzog. As a matter of fact, of all of the openers in the A division on Friday, she was the slowest. She opened in 10:89. The top opening time was 10:45 by Tian Runin of China.
Go to the start.
But again, the 10:89 was 20th and last for Herzog. We'll see if she betters that here. She finished 16th.
Ready.
Korea's teenager Lee Nan-hyun starts in the outer. She's 18 years of age. So let's check the time initially here for Herzog. And she's not even going to get to the 100 meters before her pair mates. Herzog 10:78, so that's about a tenth better, but Lee goes out in 10:61. So Lee will draft off of Herzog in the crossover. We'll see how Herzog's final lap looks. Herzog will wrap up on the outer, and Lee, the 18-year-old in the inner, is going to beat Herzog in this pair. And Lee will cross at 38.40. Herzog 38.50. So Herzog 300s better than what she was on Friday, but again, by her very high standards over the last 5 or 6 years, that's not in the same galaxy as where we are used to seeing Vanessa Herzog. Again, the opener for Herzog slightly better than what it was back on Friday by a little more than a tenth. It's interesting when I went through and kind of scraped some of the numbers before the event started tonight. The top 5 opening times from Friday, 3 of the top 5 finished on the podium. Yoshida was 10:46, that was second best. Wojcik was 10:48, that was third best. Kim was 10:49. The fastest lap, the 400-meter lap, was Yoshida. She went 27:28. But then the second, third, and fourth fastest laps were people who did not make the podium. Gatz, Leardom, and Inagawa. Now ready for pair number 3, Suzanne Schulting. Back on the long track, recovering from an ankle injury back in the spring, so not on the short track circuit, at least not yet. She went 38.51 on Friday, finished 14th. Carolina Hiller of Canada starts in the outer. We'll check Schulting's 100-meter opener. She was 10:74 on Friday, and Schulting is 10:62 here today. So better, and Hiller a little bit better than what she was on Friday as well. So there is Schulting. Not a lot of experience on the long track, but excellent in the corners, obviously with her short track experience. Hiller on the inner, Schulting on the outer. This is going to be tight. Hiller and Schulting. Schulting try to close, and she will. And Schulting at 38.10. So she shaves 41 hundredths off of where she was on Friday. That is a very nice improvement for Suzanne Schulting. Hiller 38.27. And again, so much in this 500-meter race predicated on the opener. Because not only is the time you start with, but it's the speed you build up, and the speed you can then carry through that full lap. And again, Schulting went out 10:74 on Friday, but here tonight, she goes out in 10:62. She was able to ramp that up, better around the corner. This technique looked much, much sharper for Schulting, and she will get better and better and more comfortable as the races go into her back pocket. So Schulting right now, the top 38.09 is the revised time for Schulting. And now pair 4. There's Ryo Yamada, finished 13th on Friday. And the winner of the B division of the 500 on Friday, there she is, Kristina Sileeva, 24-year-old from Kazakhstan. Ranked 22nd at this distance last year, the World Cup. But she won the B division at 38.53.
Ready.
Long hold by the starter, and away we go. So here's the first 100 breakdown. Silieva at 10:68. And again, Schulting went out in 10:62. Silieva shifts to the inner, comes around the corner. Yamada banks out of it. And Silieva in a pretty strong race here. Up from the B division, Silieva's going to win this pair. And let's check the time. 38.09 was Schulting. And Silieva clocks it at 38.47. So Schulting still on top. 6 pairs to go. So again, 38.47. So that's a little bit faster than what she was on Friday by 600s. So the improvements continue for the 24-year-old. Yamada went 38.33 on Friday, 38.76 today. So she falters by about 0.4. And there's a look at Erin Jackson, who is on deck. And she, I would imagine, the staunch competitor that she is, has a lot to prove after what we saw on Friday. Jackson finished ninth. So the first of 3 Americans in this 500. There's Brittany Bowe, two-time Olympic bronze medalist. And Naomi Verkerk of the Netherlands. Best finish in her
Go to the start.
World Cup season last year was 5th in Quebec.
Ready.
Bowe was ecstatic to get on the podium yesterday in the 1,000, finishing bronze behind Miho Takagi and Yuta Leerdam. Back at full strength and back against a full field. That was a quality medal for Brittany Bowe yesterday. She goes out in 10.7. She was 10.69 on Friday. So Bowe will lead the way. Verkerk will cross over, take the draft, and finish on the inner. We'll see how Bowe winds it up. Again, Schulting still top of the field at this early stage at 38.09. Verkerk is going to win the heat against Bowe, and her time will take the lead by 3/100ths. A 38.06 for Verkerk. Bowe at 38.25, so Bowe almost matched her time consistently from Friday to today. Bowe went out in 10.69 on Friday, goes out in 10.7 here today, and finishes 1/100th faster than what she was on Friday. So almost an identical race for Brittany Bowe. Verkerk drops about 2,300ths, and right now she's in the lead halfway through. And remember, it was Yoshida who won gold on Friday out of pair 5. So it can't happen. It's unlikely. Again, we only saw 4 skaters in the 20 on Friday go sub-38. Nobody has gone sub-38 yet.
Introducing skaters,
but if anybody will, and you know there's a lot to prove for Erin Jackson after a disappointing effort on Friday, here is the Olympic champion, Erin Jackson of the United States. She won 4 World Cup 500s last year, had 2 seconds. And here is Tian Runing of China, who had the fastest opener of anybody on Friday, 10:45. And she's going against arguably the fastest 500-meter skater in the world, Erin Jackson. This should be a scintillating first 100 meters.
Ready.
So Jackson off the line quickly. Her first 100 on Friday was 10:61. She's normally a lot faster than that. And she's off to a pretty good start here. Let's check the time. Jackson goes in 10:45, but Tian at 10:42. That's the fastest opener of any of these 16 pairs on the women's side between Friday and today. So it's Jackson and Tian in a compelling 500-meter. Banking out of the corner. Tian tightly around the corner. Jackson fighting in the outer. This is going to be a photo. Jackson edging ahead, and Erin Jackson to take it, and she is sub-38. And that is the Erin Jackson we're used to seeing. 37.78 for Erin Jackson. And yeah, better body language, better reaction right there by Erin Jackson. Maybe just a little bit sluggish after the trip overseas and getting back into World Cup fashion, but that is the Erin Jackson we're accustomed to seeing. Tian finishes at 38.05. That's second best so far. So Jackson much, much sharper off the line. Tian was as well. Jackson, first 100 meters in 10:45. Now that time, though, 37.78, still would not have beaten Yoshida Friday. She was 37.74. So Yoshida is now on deck. There's a look at Verkerk, who now is down to third. Schulting pushed off the podium in
Skaters of
fourth.
pair number 7.
So here's Jutta Leerdam, the overall bronze winner at the
Starting
World
from
Sprint
Italy
Championships,
is Jutta Leerdam of Netherlands.
who did arrive a bit late into Japan after watching her boyfriend Jake
On the
Paul
outer lane is
fight
Dion
Mike
Costa
Tyson
of
last week.
Netherlands.
But Leerdam did get on the podium in the 1,000-meter yesterday, winning silver behind Miho Takagi. And she's matched up against her teammate Dion Boskamp, who finished 8th on Friday.
Ready.
Leerdam in the inner and the wide armband. Boskamp on the left of your screen in the red. And Leerdam scuffling a bit in the opening 100. Boskamp goes out in 10-4. Leerdam 10-8. He was 10-6-6 on Friday and still finished 7th. That is not the start Leerdam was looking for. We'll see if Boskamp can make a move toward the top 3. Boskamp will finish right there on the inner on the right of your screen and handily winning this pair against Jutta Leerdam. And Boskamp is 37.84. And that is just off of Aaron Jackson by 600s, but Boskamp up into second place. Her best finish last year was in Poland, finishing 6th. Quick start, carried the speed, and drove right through that line. It was an excellent race by Dion Boskamp. So 14 skaters in, only 2 have gone below 38 seconds, and now the spotlight shines really for the first time on Yukino Yoshida. Because back on Friday, nobody had expectations that Yoshida would win gold in the 500. She did. And now, 2 days later, she's back on the same ice. Can she replicate it? If she races a same time from Friday, she would have the lead again ahead of Aaron Jackson. And Kim Min-sun, who took bronze on Friday in this 500-meter, won 3 World Cups. This is a fantastic pair. And how is Yoshida feeling right now? They were both sub 10.5 on the openers on Friday.
Ready.
If we see, a false start. I was going to say, if we see any tightness from Yoshida, we'll see it in the first 100 meters. And the false start lodged against Kim Min-sun. Kim Min-sun, second ranked in the World Cup season, the 500. There's your leader, Aaron Jackson. After finishing 9th Friday, put together a great race here today, 37.78.
False start, outer lane. Go to the start. Ready.
Clean start. Yoshida on the right, Kim on the left. And let's check the opening 100. Are they both under 10.5? No, neither. Yoshida 10.59, Kim 10.54. So they're both about a tenth of a second slower than they were on Friday. So now the pressure is on Yoshida. She'll need to find some speed here, finishing in the outer as well, and out of this final corner. Kim making a move on the inner, swings a little bit wide. Kim straightens out. Yoshida, a good finish. Will she get there in time? No, 38 flats. Aaron Jackson still in the lead, and Yoshida moves into third position. And to try and get back on top of the podium, the start was key, and you can tell right there by the reaction, Yoshida knows that she left some time in the first 100 meters. She had the fastest full lap on Friday. And Yoshida goes 27.41 today. She went 27.28 on the full lap on Friday. But again, it all is a byproduct of the starts. So Aaron Jackson, survives Yoshida, who won this event on Friday, but 2 more pairs to go. The Voskamp remains second. They do revise Yoshida's time to 37.99, so she is sub-38.
Introducing the skaters,
So now the
number
9th
9.
pair. Angelica Wojcik, who won silver out of pair 3
Starting from
on
the middle lane is
Friday.
Angelica Wojcik of
And
Poland.
Wojcik, I mean, she said afterwards that she was astonished that she won silver.
outer lane
Still
is
battling
Kasia
some of the same
Szomek
health
Noga
issues,
of Poland.
a gut problem that she's been battling really since last
Go
year.
to the start.
Makes it harder for her to recover. Kasia Szomek Nogal, 2 from Poland in this 9th pair.
Ready.
Now these 2 skaters had 2 of the fastest 5 openers on Friday as well. Wojcik was 10.48. Szomek was 10.51. Are they in the vicinity? Yeah. Szomek 10.45. That's faster than what she was on Friday. Wojcik goes 10.52. That's close to where she was. So they're going to be in contention here if they can find the speed coming out of this corner. You have Szomek finishing on the inner. Wojcik, who earned silver on Friday in the outer. This is going to be tight. And the stretch will go to Wojcik, and she's 38.18, though. That's outside the top 5. So Aaron Jackson still in front. 1 pair to go. And it will be Kimi Getz and Kurumi Inagawa from Japan. Wojcik commented after Friday's silver medal that generally speaking, it's hard for her to recover after these kind of races with the health issues that she has been battling over the last couple of years. And trying to replicate what she did on Friday, 48 hours later, was not quite in the cards. There is your leader, sitting all by herself. Staring at the scoreboard that still has Jackson on top with 1 pair remaining.
Introducing the skaters of the 10th
So it's
and
Kimi
final
Getz,
pair, women's 500-meter race.
Team USA teammate of Aaron Jackson. Getz
Starting
finished
from the inner
4th
lane
on
is Kimi
Friday,
Getz
but she's
of
the world
USA.
bronze at the world single distance last March in the 500. And there's Kurumi Inagawa, whose best finish last year in the 500 was 6. She did that 4 times, narrowly missing the
Go to
podium.
the start.
But they were, Getz was under 38 seconds on Friday, 37.95. Inagawa was 38.01. 37.99 gets the podium. 37.78 is the time to beat of Aaron Jackson. So Getz, she went out in 10.59 on Friday. She goes out in 10.55 today. She had the second fastest full lap of any of the competitors on Friday, only behind Yoshida. And if she can duplicate that, she'll have a chance here. So Getz will finish in the outer, Inagawa on the inner, and Getz kind of leans out of that corner. Inagawa giving her a run. Getz will drive toward the line, 37.78 to beat. No, but she just does pip Yoshida for bronze at 37.98. Aaron Jackson wins gold for the U.S. Dion Voskamp of the Netherlands for silver. And it will be Kimi Getz at 37.98 for the bronze. So the Americans go 1-3, and there is retribution for Aaron Jackson. And Dion Voskamp celebrates as well for the Netherlands. She will take home silver in this second running of the 500. Well, Getz gave herself a chance on that start. And her final lap, 27.43. So that was about 700 slower than what she was on Friday, but she was a tick faster in the opening 100. And when you're talking about a sport where hundreds of seconds, sometimes thousandths of a second determines first to third, first to fourth. In this case, third to fourth. 1/100th, good enough. And Kimmy gets bronze, and Aaron Jackson makes amends. A ninth place finish on Friday, but she will leave Nagano with a very good taste in her mouth, claiming gold in the second run of the women's 500. So the final results, there they are. USA goes 1-3. Yoshida, who won on Friday, just off of the podium. What an excellent weekend for Yukino Yoshida. Gold medal and a very close fourth. Jan Rooning finishing fifth. And the second page, Brittany Bowen, 11th place finish. Jutta Leerdam, disappointing week in the sprint for her, finishing 14th. And Vanessa Herzog, former world champ, 17th. So there are the updated World Cup standings in the 500. You see Yoshida with the 60 points she gained on Friday, 43 more for a fourth place finish. And the Americans, Jackson gets 2-3. Voskamp with the silver here is now overall number 4. So for the United States, first gold medal on the women's side here in Nagano. Jordan Stoltz on the men's side has claimed 3 consecutive golds here in Nagano, the 500, the 1,000, the 1,500. And we will see Jordan Stoltz once again. And it is not unprecedented to win 4 individual gold medals at a World Cup event. Just ask, I don't know, Jordan Stoltz. He did it twice last year. And in the last 2 World Cup events, in Quebec, the very last event last year, he won both 500s. He won the 1,000. He won the 1,500. And the previous week in Salt Lake, he won the 500. He won both runnings of the 1,000 meter, and he won the 1,500 meter over Ning. So that raised a question for me. When was the last time he lost a World Cup race? And the answer is you go back to the December 9th running of the 1,500 meter at World Cup Poland last year. So almost a year to the day. Peter Kongshog took down Stoltz in the 1,500. So 11 consecutive World Cup gold medals for Jordan Stoltz. And he will be the favorite, clear favorite, to make it 12 in a row. And he will be racing out of the final pair. This is Yenin Dabu, the upstart European champion in the 500. He will be in pair 8. Laurent Dubray, who finished silver to Stoltz, and he's pleased. I mean, he's been silver to Stoltz many times, even going back to the 4 continents last week and some other events last year. Finishing second to Stoltz, Dubray says, he will certainly take that, happy with those finishes, because Dubray came out and said, in his estimation, I mean, he's not just calling Jordan Stoltz the top skater in the world. He's saying he may be the best ever. It's a quote from Dubray earlier in the week. So finishing second to that quality of a skater. And again, keep in mind, Stoltz is only 20. And you have a guy like Dubray, who's been around the block in this sport for over a decade, laying that type of acclaim at your feet. He would know, right? He's been around. He's been around a lot of the greats over the last 10 or 15 years. But he can see greatness when it's in front of him. And that is what he feels like Jordan Stoltz is to the sport. But that doesn't mean Dubray doesn't think he can beat him, can't beat him. And we'll have another chance here at the 500. Dubray will be in pair number 8. Look around the M-Wave, which has held World Figure Skating Championships, Special Winter Olympics, the World All-Around Championships, as really how they broke in this arena back in 1997, the year before the Winter Olympics here in Nagano. And there's the start list. There's Jordan Stolz. He'll be in the final pair. Shinahama, who took bronze on Friday, pair 9. There's Debu and Dubray in pair number 8. Moriski, who was one of the top 500-meter skaters the first half of last year, winning gold after gold before Stolz really sunk his teeth into World Cup action. Moriski in pair 7. So we open things up for the second straight 500-meter race this weekend. David Bossa of Italy is in the opening pair, just as he was on Friday. He finished 17th.
On the outer lane is
And up
Sebastian
from the
Denis
B
of
division from
Netherlands.
Friday, Sebastian Denis of the Netherlands.
Go to the start. Ready.
False start against the Dutchman. Out of the B division, he had the fastest opener of anybody in the B division on Friday. Got
Go
him
to
at
the
9.69.
start.
Bosa was the slowest starter of all 20 in the A division. He was over 10 seconds, 10-1. Certainly time to make up there.
Ready.
The term that's been thrown around by the skaters the first couple of days here in Nagano about the ice, they said it's very crunchy. And Bosa again off very slowly here. We'll check his opening 100. He's over 10 again, 10.19 for Bosa. 71 for Sebastian. Opening pair. Bosa in the blue skin suit, drafting off of the Dutchman. Lead into that corner. Denise on the way home, leaving Bosa in his wake. And a no contest in the opening pair. 34.92 for
Finishing time for David Bosa of
Sebastian
Italy,
Denis.
35.9.
Bosa 35.96.
From Netherlands, 34.92.
It's about a quarter second drop from Friday to today.
セバスティアン・ディニス、アメリカ34秒92以上です。
Introducing the skaters of the first pair of men's 500 meters.
Now ready for the second pairing as Jordan Stolz finds his way to the infield for the U.S. Again, he will be in pair 10.
Starting from the inner lane is Sivert Brattengard of Norway.
Sivert Brattengard of Norway finished 16th on Friday.
Outer lane is Martin
And
Lee
up
of
from the
Estonia.
B division from Friday, Martin Liev, 27-year-old
Go to the
representing Estonia, one of two Estonian speed skaters here in Nagano this weekend.
Ready.
2組がスタートしました。インナーレーンからはシベル・ブラトイエルとノルウェー、アウターレーンからはマルテン・リーブ、エストニア。
We'll check the numbers, 9.8 for Brattengard, 9.83 for Liev.
9.80 and Lee of Estonia, 9.8.
It's right where both of these skaters were on Friday.
リーブ9秒83。
Brattengard in the red skin suit will finish in the outer lane. Here comes Martin Liev. And Liev with those long strides, stretches out that right blade and crosses at 34.95. Second best out of the opening four skaters.
Martin Lee of
Brattengard
Estonia,
at
34.95.
35.73.
ただいまの結果、シベル・ブラトイエルとノルウェー35秒73、マルテン・リーブ、エストニア34秒95以上です。
さあ続いて第3組日本 松井大和選手登場です。皆様熱い応援をよろしくお願いします。
Introducing the skaters.
Two out of the 10 pairs in the books. Denise of the Netherlands, 34.92, clearly leader, and not a pair of three. There's Yamato Matsui of Japan. 14th place finish on Friday. And Piotr Mikalski of Poland. 15th place finish in this 500 back on Friday.
Ready.
So the opening 100 meters. Matsui on a home ice in 9.74. Right at his time on Friday. So Matsui drops both arms, hard swing. There's the crossover. And Mikalski swings into the inner on the corner. That left hand almost went down. And here comes Matsui on the way home. Again, the early leader, 34.70. Matsui, 35.24. And Mikalski, 35.45.
Japan is 35.24, and Piotr Mikalski of Poland is 35.45.
ただいまの結果、松井大和日本35秒24、ピオトル・ミハルスキーポーランド35秒45以上です。
So a lot of events on the schedule today, a lot of quick ones though. We're almost halfway through the men's 500 meter. Mass starts are on the way, and then we'll close things out with the mixed relay. Only 3 heats of those. Yeah, the skaters getting ready for their opportunity here in the 500. Japan still has a couple more on the books. Kurosabo, Morishige, and Shinhama. And here's the first American here in this second run of the 500. He won the B division on Friday. Cooper McLeod, ranked 16th last year, native of Kirkland, Washington. And Damian Jurek, world bronze medalist, the 500 meter at the world single distance back in March.
Ready.
And another false start, second race in a row. And again, it will go on the outer lane competitor, Damian Jurek, the 25 from Poland. So the skaters called back.
Go to the start. Ready.
Clean start this time. And McLeod out quickly for the U.S. on the right side of your screen. He won the B division. 34.89 was his time. He goes out in 9.77. That's a little bit faster than what he was on Friday by 300ths. And McLeod pulling away from Jurek. He will finish in the outer. Hairpins the corner. And McLeod trying to hang on to win this pair. He will. We'll check the time. He's sub 35, and he's your leader. How about that? 34.81 for McLeod. And that's 800s faster than what he was on Friday. All right. Halfway through. Jordan Stoltz yet the race, but for now, my name's on top of the leaderboard. So 34.81 for McLeod. That will feel good. His personal best is 34.24 in Salt Lake City in January. Yeah, oh, huge smile. Why not? Somebody take a snapshot of that scoreboard for the moment.
Introducing the skaters
And McLeod
competing in race
on top. 6 pairs to go. And here is the Olympic champion from Beijing in the 500, Gao Qingyu. Finished 11th. That was back on Friday. Bjorn Magnussen of Norway, a 12th place finish. Now Gao had the second fastest opener of any of the competitors in the A division on Friday, 9.58, but lost a ton of speed in that final lap.
Ready.
We'll check the opening 100 here from Gao 48 hours later. Is he better than 9.58? He's not. By a quarter second slower. That does not augur well for Gao Qingyu. Magnussen goes out also in 9.82. And this is the lap where Gao really lost time on Friday. Let's see if he can find it somewhere. He'll finish in the outer on the left side of your screen. Magnussen giving him everything he wants, and Magnussen is going to win this pair with the Olympic champ. 35.19 Magnussen, 35.24 for Gao. And Gao right now, again, early season. A lot of rust, getting back into shape, getting into form. He's got a ways to go to get back to the skater that we are accustomed to seeing as far as his times here in the 500. So McLeod still your leader halfway through. Jordan Stahls will be in the final pair. Shinhama will be in the 9th pair. Debu and Dubray will be in the 8th pair. Marishke will be in the 7th. So the featured skaters are on the way as we move into pair 6. Japan's 23-year-old Katsuhiro Kuratsubo finished 9th, 34.88 on Friday.
On the outer lane is Maren Sekkerkamp of Netherlands.
Maren Sekkerkamp of the Netherlands finished 10th. And again, McLeod right now sitting on top, 34.81.
Ready.
Kuratsubo, you can hear the fans behind him. Extra supports on his home ice here in Nagano. He goes out in 9.69, slightly faster than what he was on Friday. Sekkerkamp in 9.72. You can hear the crowd. Not a big crowd, but they're vocal right now. We have a couple more Japanese skaters in this 500 after this one. Sekkerkamp, though, will finish in the inner, takes advantage of the corner, and he's going to win going away. 34.73, and that is going to knock the American off the top. So McLeod's 34.81, undone by Maren Sekkerkamp. So Sekkerkamp by 8/100, so 34.73 unofficially. And that is indeed where officially it clocks in. 34.73, so McLeod right now second. Denise out of the opening pair from the Netherlands right now third. And there's a little strategy, a little technical session going on for Team USA as we move now to pair number 7. And there's Stefan Westenbroek of the Netherlands. 7th place finish on Friday. And here is Wataru Morishige. Morishige, 4 wins in the World Cup season a year ago. Swept both 500s in Beijing. That's where we'll be next week. The top ranked by classification 500-meter skater last season.
Ready.
But he went out on Friday in a fairly pedestrian 9.85. So we'll check the time here. He's being pushed by Westenbroek in the opening 100. Morishige 9.80, so a little bit better. Westenbroek at 9.74. The lead right now to Shepperkamp at 34-73. Moriske will finish on the inner. Uses the momentum out of that corner. Moriske straightens up, comes down the home straights, tight at the finish, and it will go to Vestenbroek at 34-86, but that's good for only third. Moriske 34-99.
ただいまの結果、ステファン・ルステンブルク、オランダ、34秒86。
So 3 pairs to go. McLeod for the U.S. still right now holding in seconds. And the lead to Shepperkamp at 34-73. But now this next pair, this is where it all begins. You see Laurent Dubray, silver medalist to Stolz on Friday. The 32-year-old Olympic veteran from Canada. And Yenning de Boo of the Netherlands, the 20-year-old former short track star as a junior. European 500-meter champion last year. There's Dubray. This is actually same pair we saw on Friday. The only pair that is identical as far as competitors that go. But Dubray was in the outer on Friday. He's on the inner today, and de Boo will start in the outer. So the World Sprint Championships, Dubray finished bronze. de Boo, silver. High octane pair.
Ready.
And another false start. And this one against Dubray. Go back to the pre-race routine. Blocking everything out. Called to the line once again as if nothing happened, but the announcement there against Dubray.
Go to the start. Ready.
And so off we go in what should be an awfully competitive 500-meter pair. Dubray and de Boo. And the opening 100 belongs to Dubray at 9.63. That is identical to what he opened up on Friday. de Boo a 9.8. So Dubray puts himself in very good shape here. If he handles this corner, he'll finish on the outer. And de Boo will have to come from behind here against Dubray. He'll try to close, but Laurent Dubray of Canada is going to win his pair, and he will be second, 34-79. Unable to take down the lead, so Shepperkamp's 34-73 still good. Dubray went 34-58. And there you see de Boo. Slow start, plus a bit of a stumble there that was cost him some time. So Dubray unable to get past him. de Boo finishes 35.04. Right now, that's 8th with 2 pairs to go. So now the next to last pair. Kim Jong-hoo of Korea finished 5th on Friday with 34.63. And Tatsuya Shinahama took bronze on Friday, holds the track record here. 34.40, set in October of 23. Now Kim was the fastest opener of anybody on Friday, 9.52. But his full lap cost him. He went 25.11 coming home.
Ready.
So Kim on the inner. We'll see how fast it goes. Oh, a little stumble there, about 3 paces out. And that's going to cost Kim some time. And it'll be Shinhama 9.61 and Kim with that stumble 9.72. So Shinhama trying to take down Shepperkamp. Right now the leader at 34.73. Kim trying to recover in the outer, but Shinhama in good position here. Swerves a bit wide, straightens it out. 34.73 the time to beat. He does, handily, by 24 hundredths. 34.49. 34.49 for Shinhama. A 24.88 finishing lap. So he is the leader, and that will move Sheperkamp down to second, Dubray to third, and one pair to go, and Jordan Stolz certainly saw Shinhama put down that time. And again, it wasn't a terribly quick opener by Shinhama, but it was the last lap that was the attention getter. So there is a tantalizing number to beat for Jordan Stolz. So if he wins his 12th consecutive World Cup events, it will take a very good effort from that 20-year-old from Wisconsin. There is Jordan Stolz. He's won 3 gold medals already here in Nagano, the 500 Friday, the 1,000 and the 1,500. He has not been beaten in a World Cup event since December 9th of last year in Poland when he lost to Peter Kongshag in the 1,500. So here is Stolz. And he matches up with Marek Kania of Poland, who will finish 6th out of pair 3 on Friday.
Go to the start.
Now, Stolz had the fastest full lap of anybody in Friday's win, 24.72. And his time from Friday for gold would be 600ths better than what we just saw from Shinhama.
Ready.
So it is that close, and here we go. Stolz pursuing World Cup event win number 12 in a row. Let's check the opening 100. Stolz goes 9.65, 600ths faster than Friday. So if he winds it up and throws down the big last full lap like he did on Friday, he'll take down Shinhama, but it will take that type of effort. 34.49 is the time to beat for Jordan Stolz. Down the home straight, looking for a 12th straight World Cup victory. Stolz to the line and has it again. A smooth dozen for Jordan Stolz. 12 World Cup individual event golds in a row for the 20-year-old from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. By 8/100ths, beats Tatsuya Shinhama. And Jordan Stolz is a train you just cannot stop. 3 straight World Cup events going back to last year where Stolz has claimed 4 golds in 4 individual events. There is no one more dominant in this sport than him. Shinhama will win silver at 34.49. And Maren Sheperkamp from the Netherlands will take bronze, 34.73. Said it the other day, winners just know how to win. They know how to get the time they need to get to the top of the podium, no matter what it is, no matter when it happens. And in this case, it happened moments before Stolz went to the line on Shinhama's final lap, putting down a very tough time for Stolz to beat. And it wasn't the best opening 100 by Stolz. It was slightly faster than Friday. But Stolz bore down in the outer lane in the final 100 meters, and he just did nip Shinhama. So Stolz does it again. And yes, he has heard those words a lot. Get ready for the podium, he said. Yeah, of course. I know my way. I know my way. Oh, the ability, the strength, the determination, resolve for somebody so young. Shinhama did everything he could. He threw down a great last lap, and he made Jordan Stolz win it. He did not give it to Stolz. And Stolz delivered again. And there's Shepard on the podium. The 500 for the first time. His best finish in Beijing last year, finished fourth. Great to see him on the podium. Shepard, 24-year-old from the Netherlands. So the Netherlands, a sprint medal on the men's side. And the official results, there they are. Stoltz at 34.41. Shinhama, 34.49. Shepard 34.73. So 9 skaters go below 35. And the second page, Gao, 15th place finish. But the headline story above the fold, the 20-year-old from West Bend, Wisconsin, Jordan Stoltz. A 4th consecutive gold this weekend in Nagano. And there are the World Cup standings, 60 points for each win for Stoltz this weekend in the 500. Shinhama, Dubray, Shepard, and Dabu round out the top 5. So the award ceremony on the way for both 500-meter podiums. And we're coming back. 3 events left. The mass starts on the way next. And we'll close things up with the mixed relay. So stay tuned. ISU World Cup speed skating from Nagano. Don't go anywhere.
ただいまより女子 500m 競技の表彰式を開始いたします。 Victory Ceremony for 500 meters women。 メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞は長野県知事安倍修一より授与されます。 The presenters are Mr. Tron Esperi, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Mr. Shuichi Abe, Nagano Prefecture Governor, for the gift. Third place, Kimi Gates of USA. Second place, Dione Voskamp of Netherlands. First place, Erin Jackson of USA. 様、メダリストたちにもう一度盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。Please give a big round of applause to the medalists. 以上で女子 500m 競技の表彰式を終了いたします。This concludes the 500 meters women victory ceremony. ただいまより男子 500m 競技の表彰式を開始いたします。 Victory Ceremony for 500 meters men。 メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞は長野県知事安倍修一より授与されます。 The presenters are Mr. Tron Esperi, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Mr. Shuichi Abe, Nagano Prefecture Governor for the gift. Third place, Marion Schreppelkamp of Netherlands. Second place, Tatsuya Chihama of Japan. First place, Jordan Stolt of USA. 上で男子 500m 競技の表彰式を終了いたします。This concludes the 500 meters men victory ceremony.
At this time, I'd like to ask the coaches and the team leaders, please leave the infield before the mass start race. Coaches and team leaders, please leave the infield.
さてこの後は女子マススタート、そして男子マススタート、今日の目玉競技が続いていきます。マススタートはスピードの要求されるところもありますが、まずは戦略、みんなで見合ってみたり、何が起こるかわからないのがマススタートです。ぜひ誰が優勝するか、そして誰が2位3位に入ってくるか、一緒に来ている人、近くの人と話して予想してみてください。何が起こるかわからないマススタート、まもなくスタートになります。お楽しみに。
Back to Nagano, Japan, inside the M-Wave, the Nagano Olympic Memorial Arena. And now beginning to wind things down here for World Cup. Nagano, to the mass start we go. Women first, men next. Then we'll close things down with the mixed relay. And there's the start list on the women's side. And no, they're in Schouten, the world champion, retired at the end of last season. So there's a look at Yvonne Blondin, who had been Schouten's foil over the last few years in this event. And the Canadians with Blondin and Valerie Maltai, strong favorites to get on the podium, if not on top. There is Francesca Lollobrigida, who just walked off your screen, Olympic bronze medal. Yvonne Blondin won Olympic silver behind Schouten in Beijing. So we will see 20 skaters, 16-lap race. Intermediate points every 4 laps, 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. But 60 points to the winner. And the gaggle of skaters will head on to the ice. There is Blondin, the skater in the middle of your screen wearing the number 2 on the helmet. The United States with Mia Manganello in the number 3 helmet. Maltai, the number 1 ranked World Cup mass start skater, so she gets the number 1 helmet. Blondine, a couple of wins last year, a couple of seconds. She's the 2-time reigning 4-continent champion. She won world silver last year at the world single distance in the mass start. I mean, this is her best race, but she's had a wonderful start to this speed skating season. She was on the podium 4 times last week, the 4 continents. She won the mass start at the 4 continents. Bronze in the 3,000 meter, bronze in the 1,500 meter. And also won gold as part of the team sprint for Team Canada. And Blondine this weekend here, she won the 3,000 meter yesterday in a bit of a surprise. So brimming, oozing with confidence as Blondine and the rest of the 20 skaters take the ice. Sandrine Tass of Belgium won the final mass start events last year's World Cup season in Quebec. She'll be in helmet number 5. Ramona Hardy won silver in that same event in Quebec. She'll be in helmet number 6 for Switzerland. Marie Groenewoud of the Netherlands will be in helmet number 8. She won the Beijing mass start and was the European champion. So they all now move toward the start line. And basically in numerical order, right? 1 through 6 across the top of the blue line. Maltai in the 1, Blondine 2, Manganello 3, Tass 4, Hardy 5.
Valerie Malte of Canada.
Caitlin McGregor of Switzerland 6. Now they go through the individual introductions. This will take a while. 2,
Ivani Blondin of Canada.
Go make a sandwich, brew a pot of coffee. By the time those are done, so will the introductions. Manganello of the United States.
Helmet number 4, Sandrine Tass of Belgium.
I was wondering why the broadcast feed came back on live with the graphics about 5 minutes before the start time of the race, which is scheduled to be at 11 minutes past the hour. I'm like, they're coming back a little bit early. I wonder why that is.
Helmet number 6, Caitlin McGregor.
Yeah, now I know.
Switzerland.
Got to run through 20 different introductions.
Helmet number 7, Michelle Ulrich of Germany.
Michelle Ulrich, she was on a podium in Quebec last year at the mass start. Won the bronze.
Zuzana Grozova of Czech Republic. Yiwu Park of Korea. Wen Jin of China. Francesca Lollobrigida of Italy.
And now, yeah, they're going through a little bit quicker here.
Of Japan, Britta Myers
for the remaining 13 or 14, just come on up, skate toward the line. We'll go through the names as quickly as we can. We don't want to freeze out all the skaters. Blondine, always so cheerful. One of the most charismatic skaters on the tour. There's Lollobrigida. And now, after 20 introductions, here we go. And away we go in the mass starts of World Cup Nagano. And again, this is kind of a race within a race within a race. Intermediate speed points are given after the end of each 4 laps. But the big bounty, the big prize is winning the race and the 60 points that go along with it. This is where it takes so much strategy, but you sometimes can throw your initial game plan or 2 out the window based on if there's an attempt at a breakaway or if the peloton kind of hangs together in one lump. This is more just kind of exercising in the opening couple of laps, conserving your energy, and everybody's game plan, everybody's tactics are different coming into the race. But then eventually, somebody's strategy becomes the race strategy for all. And right now it's Groenewoud on the left side of your screen, swinging in the middle. Up top, see how tight it is. Lollobrigida is actually with her fingernails on the lower back of Groenewoud. There's the Blondine kind of jockeying for position, center of that lead group. You just want to make sure you stay in the clear, and now we see it looks like the two Swiss on the outside beginning to break away, and this is where you start into the sprint lap here. That's Hardy and McGregor going out hard to try and pick up a couple of free points. Again, 3 points for the person leading the race at the end of this lap. 2 points for the second place skater, and then 1 for the third. The two Swiss are going out, and clearly that was part of their game plan, Hardy and McGregor. The two from Switzerland, and they will claim 3 points, 2 points, and we'll see who comes across third in that intermediate section. And Toss picked up the other one. So that's where we are, a little more than 4 laps in. Now the pace will return to where it was the first couple of laps. And again, sometimes, as we just saw with the two Swiss skaters, strategy involves kind of teamwork from teammates. But if you're out there kind of on your own, like Lola Brigida, she has Marletti in this race with her, but they are, as you can see in the blue skin suits, separated by about 12 or 13 different skaters. So if you're going to team up, they're seeing the helmet 13. That's Lola Brigida toward the back, 5th from the back. She's not going to get any help from her teammate as helmet 20, Alice Marletti, right now is in the lead. Piotrowska from Poland right now second. So there's not going to be any kind of tandem racing by the Italians, it would appear, but for some teams there will. Now we'll see the pace pick up as we're approaching now the second sprint lap, and there goes Marletti, number 20, in the blue skin suit. So there you hear the bell. This will be the close of the 8th lap of the 16, and again 3 points to the leader of the race as they hit the start-finish line on the back end here. It's Marletti, it's Josie Hoffman of Germany in helmet number 18. Greta Myers of the United States is up in the mix as well in helmet 16. She's trying to pick up a couple of points here, so they're coming to that line. Myers might actually get all 3. And Myers will for the United States. So Uhrig of Germany got 2 points. Hoffman picks up the other also for Germany. So Greta Myers picks up 3 and now settles back. So there are the current standings of the race inside the race. Already won the first intermediate sprint. Myers the next. There will be another one of those coming up with lap 12. Hoffman still out front for Germany. Myers still at the front of the pack, and now is not really the time where we'll start to focus in on Maltai and Blondine and Manganello and the others. It will likely be right after that final sprint lap. Although we do see Maltai right now for Canada sitting second. And Sandrine Tass, number 4, goes 3 wide for Germany. Check that for Belgium. Apologies. But you don't want to get lumped in the back of the pack. Stay in the clear as best as you can. And now we'll be coming up to one more bell for the intermediate sprint points. Now you see a couple of skaters sprinting from the back and trying to again steal a few more points. It's Marletti. So Marletti got a kind of a running start on the rest of the pack, and she's just simply trying to sprint away, and hopefully nobody will catch her. And a couple of skaters do go down. Uhrig was one of them, but I believe Jin Wenjing is the other from China. And there's Maltai right now at the front. And Maltai will pick up the 3 points. Park Ji-woo will Get a couple of points there. And I believe that was Lisa Dole of the Netherlands picking up the other. So now we're inside the final 4 laps. And there are the standings, but now the big bounty is ahead for Malte and for Blondine and for Manganello and all the others. And this is where Ebony Blondine, who right now is 4th, behind her is Manganello in 5th. This is where the stars, the mass start, come out to shine. Malte right now is leading for Canada. And to see some shifting and some jostling and kind of some hand jousting as well, working through that pack. Still Malte. Ebony Blondine, a good position, takes a peek over her right shoulder, sees where Manganello is. Into lap 15. And now the race really begins. Malte right now still in front for Canada. Park Ji-woo right now 2nd. Sitting 3rd is Elisa Dahl. They sprint now to the bell lap. And here we go. Blondine is about 4 wide. And now up in 2nd place. Park Ji-woo. And here's Blondine. Park Ji-woo leading. Blondine swings wide, has the lead. RK Gronevud is in contention as well. Into the final corner, it's Blondine again for Canada. Driving home. Gronevud trying to catch her on the outside. It's Blondine. It's Gronevud. It's coming to the wire. It's Gronevud. Takes it down for the Netherlands in the final 50 meters. A head shake from Blondine, settling for silver. And again, it's all about the tactics down the stretch. Gronevud, Blondine, and Elisa Dahl of the Netherlands up for 3rd.
The result of this race,
Gronevud stalking Blondine into that back straight. Made the move, swung wide, and just powered her way home.
21, helmet number 13, Francesca Lollobrigida of Italy wins 10th. Helmet number 3, Mia Manganello of Italy, USA wins 6th. Helmet number 11,
Gronevud
from Korea wins 5.
wins gold. Blondine, silver. Dahl, bronze. Lollobrigida of Italy finishing 4th. And Mia Manganello of the United States 5th. And there you see Blondine's coming out of that corner in front. There's the powering strokes down the stretch for Gronevud. And wins it by 7 1/100ths of a second over Blondine. So Gronevud, the European champion from last year, the world bronze medalist in the mass start. Blondine won world silver, so she pegs over Blondine, and there are the final standings of the women's mass start. So another podium finish for Blondine, but for her probably a disappointing silver. Gronevud of the Netherlands as the Dutch go 1-3.
この後の男子マススタートレースのスタート時刻は15時32分、午後3時32分スタートです。
And there are the updated World Cup standings for the mass start. 60 points for Gronevud, Blondine 54. Dahl, Lollobrigida, Manganello round out the top 5. So the happy discussion begins on the infield for the Team Netherlands. A gold and a bronze in the mass starts. Gronevud and Elisa Dahl. And there's Blondine thinking about the strategy. What would have worked? What could have fended off the big finish? Like Gronevud. So the mass start for the women in the books. Men are next. And then the mixed relay will close out World Cup Nagano. And that is scheduled for 32 minutes past the hour, so about 9 minutes from now. And we at least know that we'll have to provide about 5 minutes for the introductions of the skaters. But does not appear anyways, though they will do any resurfacing in between the mass start of the women and the men. So while we wait for the launch of the men's mass start, we'll take this time out as World Cup Nagano winds down. 2 more races left when we come back.
In 5 minutes, we'll be returning to our competition. Men's mass start for Division A skaters. Skaters competing in this race, please get ready to get on ice.
競技開始5分前、競技開始5分前です。この後の競技は男子マススタートレースです。
男子マススタート始まります。南牧村出身佐々木翔選手は先月の競技別選手権、日本競技別選手権で男子マススタートを優勝しました。笠原幸太郎選手は3位に入っています。今回ワールドカップでどのような活躍を見せるのか、要注目でお願いします。
Moments away from the introductions of the 20 skaters for the men's mass starts as we begin to close down here. World Cup Nagano, first stop of the World Cup circuit in the 24-25 season. So there are the 20 skaters heading onto the ice. There have been a couple of revisions as far as the starting 20 have gone over the last few hours. One just happened within the last hour or two, and the Olympic silver medalist Chung Jae-won of Korea, who is scheduled to be in this event, has been a late scratch. So that then frees up Felix Molly of Germany to enter the field. He'll be wearing helmet number 20. Again, Chung was the number 2 ranked mass starter last year on the men's side with a win in Salt Lake and a couple of runners-up, and he won the 4 continents last year. So Chung scratched, and we'll get to the starting 20. Andrea Giovannini of Italy, a couple of wins in the World Cup circuit last year. Bart Houlworth, Livio Wenger, Bart Swings, the Olympic champion in Beijing, the Olympic silver medalist in Pyeongchang. Stefano from Italy, Lobano from France, Peter Michael from New Zealand. A couple of Americans in this event. Ethan Seprin will be wearing helmet number 8 for the U.S. The other American is Jonathan Tallon, wearing helmet number 16.
Canada, Fritjof Petzel, Germany, Jorik Bergsma of Netherlands, and Felix Molly of Germany.
So the 20 called to the line. And again, the focus will be on helmet number 4. Watch Bart Swing, center of your screen in the white, trimmed in red, yellow, and black. European champ, Olympic champ, world champ last year. Right there, Bart Swings. And he, like Blondin, just has a knack for the finish in the mass start. So we'll focus on swings, but again, similar to the women's race, 16 laps. We'll see the quick burst of speed heading in that transition from lap 3 to lap 4 for the intermediate points. Typically, the expected contenders in these races don't bother with the intermediate sprint points. They don't want to burn any fuel, burn any energy. But that will go to sometimes skaters in the back of the pack or those who feel like a couple of extra points might help their world ranking. Doubtful we'll see Giovannini or Houlworth or Wenger or Bart Swings, guys in that kind of category, vie for those extra points, only unless the race just kind of falls to them that way. But typically, there are always some eager speedsters at the back of the pack. We'll try to grab those. Now the pace heightens a little bit. It's Stuart Bergsma in helmet 19 for the Netherlands, breaking away. There's Felix Molly in helmet 20. Again, Molly just entered this field of 20 in this race within the last hour and a half or so after Chung Jae-won was scratched. Swings right now sitting 5th for Belgium. And we're about to approach the bell leading to the first intermediate sprint lap, and here it is. That's Felix Male. Welcome to the field. He might steal 3 points here. He was the alternate, and when Chung scratched, Male sneaked into the field. He's coming around this corner alongside leader Michael of New Zealand, and it looks like Male's going to pick up the 3 points here. Although he does have some guys trying to run him down, and I'm not sure Male got there, did he? It was close. Diederik Enstrand, we'll see if he got there. And he did. Male got 2. And Diederik Enstrand picks up 3 for Norway. Male had no idea he was coming up on him to his right. There's Male now, far left of your screen, almost by the padding. And then Male just goes down. He got tripped. So Male sliding back toward the pack. You still have time to get up and probably retouch with the pack if you have an opportunity. But I still don't see Male in the screen. So there's your leader right now, Jorrit Bergsma. Takes a little peek. I think Male is about half a track behind. Petzold of Germany right now out front. And right now Petzold starting to break away on his own. Hulverf of the Netherlands giving him some comfortable space. Well, Petzold won't have to work all that hard for these 3 points, will he? He's 4 seconds clear of the field. There's Bergsma right now at 2nd position. Again, 2nd across the line here on this end of this lap will pick up 2 points. There's Kotaro Kasahara of Japan vying for at least 1 point. And that is Bart Swings. Did Swings get that point? I think he did. Swings saw just a cheapy point, little sitter there, and said, all right, I'll accelerate and try and grab it, and Swings just missed it. Sahara did claim the 1. A little bit of trust in Bart Swings, feeling like I can use a little bit of energy here to try and grab 1 point. It didn't work out, though. We'll see if that impacts him on the back end of the race. 6 laps to go. The 2 Italians up near the front of that second grouping. That's Giovannini and Stefano. There's Simon Paka of Poland right now, who is caught up to Petzold. And that lead is still going to be about 4.5 or 5 seconds. And now we're into Petzold and Paka. Bergsma, yeah, about 4.5 seconds behind. Swings a little more than 5 seconds back. That's Bergsma right now all by himself in 3rd position. There's Swings leading the next pack. So now we're into the last sprint lap here. And that backpack is beginning to catch up to Bergsma and company. Petzold still out there. Paka right now in the lead. Here comes Luminol of France. And he may get the 3, and he will. So now we're into the stretch run here. Final 4 laps. Bergsma will settle toward the back of the pack now. Sasaki right now leading the big peloton there. Separate number 8 for the United States is right ahead of Bart Swings. There you see the 3 groupings. You have 1 in the front, 2 in the next, and then Bart Swings and Separate and Sasaki and company. But they will begin to close in probably in the next half lap to 1 lap. And we'll see the real stress to the finish. That's a pretty healthy lead, though, right there with 2 laps to go. The Frenchman, Timothy Lubino, right now comfortably in front. There's Petzold, Palka, Giovannini in helmet number 1, but they have some ground to recover here and not a lot of time, frankly, to do it. And there's Bergsma making another run, but there's your leader as we are now braking for the finish. Skater goes down, Swings just avoids. And that, I believe, is Sasaki. Lubino, there he is, still out in front. Here comes the rest of the gang. Swings, along with Di Stefano, number 5. And coming to the finish, the Frenchman steals the mass start, Timothy Lubino. And a tight finish for second, but the gambit pays off for Timothy Lubino. Broke free with about 3 laps to go, built up a lead he would not abdicate. And that rendered Giovannini and Bart Swings and company and all the favorites reduced to a chase for silver. Di Stefano up for silver, Bart Hulwerf of the Netherlands for bronze. Swings finishes in 5th position. So Lubino steals it away in the final 3 laps. And he did not come back to the field. Di Stefano silver, Hulwerf the bronze. And now adjusting the points and the times, Giovannini finishing 4th, Bart Swings 5th. How about that? And congratulations from everybody, with the exception of the favorites. I mean, Lubino just kind of sprinted off. There was a gap to Palka and company, and then there's a larger gap to the rest of the group. And while the second group fell back, they weren't making up enough ground against Lubino and never really made any kind of concerted charge at him. So the Italians, Di Stefano and Giovannini, discussed the strategy on what happened. How did Lubino get away from us? But get away he did. And that's a pretty intense conversation right there on how did he break free and nobody able to chase him down. I mean, that was the group you figured was going to make the charge. But it just didn't happen. And that's where Sasaki went down. And that ended his nights. But how about this, man? Lubino just kind of kept looking back around his shoulder saying that the group's got to be coming, right? But, I mean, he coasted to the finish. I mean, this Queen's Gambit does not work very often in this kind of race, but it did in Nagano. And look at that gap. And look at that primal scream. That's what it's all about. And you know he was mapping that out probably well before this race even started. And a lot of times your best strategy, sometimes it just doesn't present itself to run its course. But it did today. And Timothy Lubino, France, it's the huge ROI. So Italy goes 2-4. Lubino claims gold in the mass starts. updated standings. And for Lumino, as I'm looking over his history, that is his first World Cup medal of any kind in his career. So congrats to Timothy Lumino, 28-year-old. Represented France in roller speed skating, won the silver in the road 10,000 meter competition 5 years ago. But in World Cup action, his best ever finish before this one, before this gold in Nagano, best finish was 9th. That was the World Cup classification last year. So congrats to Timothy Lumino, mass start men's champion here in World Cup Nagano. They will resurface the ice. One more event when we come back, scheduled to start about 16 minutes from now. We will have 3 heats of the mixed relay. And there is your mass start champion. First World Cup medal ever, Timothy Lumino of France.
この後ミックスリレーが行われます。日本でこのミックスリレーが行われるのはもうワールドカップ以外ではないというような貴重な機会です。強豪国が出場しますので、男女混合リレー、ぜひこちらも最後までお楽しみに。
ただいまより女子マスターズの競技の表彰式を開始いたします。Victory ceremony for Master Women. メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞は公益財団法人日本スケート連盟理事菊池武彦より授与されます。 The presenters are Mr. Tron Esperi, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Mr. Takehiko Kikuchi, board member of JSF, for the gift. Third place, Elisa Down of Netherlands. Second place, I believe London of Canada. First place, Marike Voetwal of Netherlands.
Iedereen mag wel weg, behalve jij. Ja, dat is echt serieus. Moet hem wel open doen. Ja, nee, serieus.
We kunnen hem niks, hè?
Nee, helemaal. Maar het kwam goed. Hij heeft wel vaak geprobeerd.
Ja, hij speelt zo stil, ik dacht van het
Ja, uiteindelijk ging die Timothy helemaal niet meer in.
Dat had ik niet meer moeten laten gebeuren eigenlijk. Maar, ja.
Maar toen was ik net terug.
Ja, maar ik had hem nog wel iets nog op kunnen vangen, zeg maar.
ただいまより男子マススタート競技の表彰式を開始いたします。 Victory Ceremony for Master Men。 メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞はアジアスケート連盟会長チョン・ミョンヒより授与されます。 The presenters are Mr. Tron Espeli, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Mr. Myung-hee Chung, President of Asian Skating Union, for the gift. Third place, Bart Fulbel of Netherlands. Second place, Daniele De Stefano of Italy. First place, Timothy Lubinov of France.皆様、メダリストたちにもう一度盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。Please give a big round of applause to the medalists. 以上で男子マススタート競技の表彰式を終了いたします。This concludes Mass Start Men Victory Ceremony.
Next race is the mixed relay. We'll be back in about 4 minutes.
競技開始4分前、競技開始4分前です。この後の行われます競技は本大会最後の種目です。ミックスリレーです。
The fans here in Nagano at the Olympic Memorial Arena awaiting one last race before we drop the curtain on World Cup Nagano. Patrick Keenan is back with you and now ready for the mixed relay. We'll see 3 heats A total of 10 teams, 3 in the first heat, 3 in the second, 4 in the last. This will be a 6-lap race. We have a couple of exchanges in the exchange zone and a relatively new event here to the world of speed skating. There we get a look. We're seeing that Kazakhstan evidently has scratched out from the third heat. They were originally in there, so Germany, Italy, and Czechia in the opener, Netherlands, Belgium, and Korea in the second, China, Poland, and Canada in the third. So Kazakhstan, which was originally in the lineup in that third heat, has scratched out. Hopefully you witnessed the medal ceremony a moment ago for the women's and men's mass start. Timothy Lubino, you could not wipe the eager smile off of his face. He's waited his entire career to be on top or on any kind of World Cup podium. And it's just kind of watching him, it almost looked like he couldn't quite believe he was standing on top of the podium. But the gold medal is his. So here we go. Heat number 1 of the mixed relay. We saw this event a couple of times, the World Cup level last year. Germany won silver in Salt Lake. The Dutch won gold in Obihiro. China won gold in Salt Lake City. Waiting for the race to begin. Anna Ostlander of Germany will be on the lead leg for the Germans. There, Anna Fontana, the short track Olympian champion for Italy. Katerina Kainova from Czechia will open things up for Czechia. So 1 lap for Fontana and company. Then the exchange. Fontana out there with Francesco Betti of Italy. The men will then skate 2 laps. There will be an exchange back to the women for 2 laps, and then 1 last exchange for the final lap back to the men. So that is the arrangement here. Here is the exchange zone, and here he sees a little touch, and that is Fontana. She's used to this from the mixed relays at short track, so she will shove off Francesco Betti, and Italy has the lead. Germany right now second. Moritz Klein is on the ice for Germany, and Czechia with Jakub Kochi. So now 2 laps for the men. Francesco Betti out front for Italy. And this is all based on time, so of the 9 teams here in the mixed relay, fastest time will win gold. There's Moritz Klein drafting off of Betti. The lead about a 1/10 of a second for Italy. Czechia has fallen well off of the pace. And there's the Fontana on the infield coming out. There's the exchange. And back to Ostlander of Germany and Ariana Fontana for Italy. Now, Fontana does still aspire to get back on the short track. She wants to stay on the long track as well, as the Olympics are coming to her home country in 2026, the Winter Games, and she has aspirations of participating in them both before she calls it a career. Fontana, 34 years of age, so stretching her legs here in the long track. We saw her in the B division of the 1500 here in Nagano earlier in the weekend. Finished 5th in the B division of that race. So tight here, Fontana, Ostlander. Czechia about 7 seconds off the pace. And now we're getting ready for the last exchange to wrap up this race. And having to slow down, that was Klein having to wait. And now Germany out on top. Trouble on the exchange for Italy. And so now Italy is almost 5 seconds off the pace. And again, not many events to practice this. You might go through it in your dress rehearsal and practice, but not many opportunities. So there can be some issues within the exchange zone. That seemed to bedevil Italy. So Germany will get to the line first, 3 minutes, .94. And And again, this was a match race with Italy and Germany until that last exchange that went awry. So as a result, it cost Italy maybe even a win in the heat, and they finished 10 seconds off the pace. So 3 flat .94 for Germany in the first heats. I don't know if we'll have enough time in between races to get a replay of that missed exchange there by Italy between Fontana and their teammate Francesco Betti. But they will take a look at that later. Again, we'll see the mixed relay a couple of times over the course of this World Cup season. So the next skaters are out on the ice. So here's a look. That's Fontana out front. Ostländer of Germany behind her. And there you see the look back by Fontana. As they have a mistake on the exchange right there. And there's Betti. Again, the mistake was well behind that spot, but that was the moment of causation for Italy. So Germany wins the heat, 3 flat .94. So 2 heats to go. Netherlands, Belgium, and Korea are on the way. Here's a look at Betti, the foreground. I'm sure he'll go talk with Fontana, the coaching staff, about what went wrong right there. So Germany in front wins the heat. And now we will see the Dutch. 2 of these events last year at the World Cup level. The Dutch won 1 of them. The first one that was raced last year at Obihiro. We'll see the 17-year-old Angel Dalleman, who's been impressive this weekend. Just missed a podium a couple of days ago. Kim Min-sun of Korea. Very good pedigree. Belen of Belgium, along with Fran van Hout. Zo and Hu Min, Dalleman and Dijs are the team for the Dutch.
Introducing the skaters of the next race. Team Netherlands, Angel Delman, Wesley Dijs. Team Belgium, Rob Belen and Fran van Hout. Team Korea, Min-sun Kim and Hyung-min Oh.
Go to the start. Ready.
All right, so off we go. Dalleman of the Netherlands, Belen of Belgium, Kim Min-sun of Korea. The 3 out there. Again, they'll be out there for the first lap. And then make the exchange. 2 laps by the men, 2 more after the exchange to the women. And then the men will wrap it up with the final lap. And now you see on the infield. Again, this has a lot of properties of short track, and some of these skaters have a lot of short track in the background, others don't. And shoving a teammate in the exchange zone. It has to be within that exchange zone area. Yeah, things can get away from you pretty quickly if you're not prepared and if you don't time it. And I think that's why Fontana perhaps was just disappointed. I mean, she's used to those kind of relays, but obviously Francesco Betti, her teammate, was not. So a clean exchange. Still a tight 3-way battle. Dutch right now sitting on top by about a 1/10 over Belgium, 2/10 over Korea, but stride for stride. And there you see the female skaters getting ready on the inside for the exchange. They'll pop out into generally the inner lane. There's the exchange. All 3 appear to be okay. Quick cut by the Dutch in front of Belen and the Belgians. But that's the central key to this race. It's all on the exchange. Some will be aggressive, some will be sharp, others will be dull as a butter knife. Netherlands, Korea, Belgium, still 1, 2, 3. We will have 1 more exchange. And then the final lap. So Dalaman still on top. Korea right now is second. Galen of Belgium trying to make an inside move as they get ready for the final exchange here. And I see the energy on the infield, and now they'll break into typically the inner lane and try to time things up. And there's a little bit of tightness there, some congestion. And 2 exchanges were good. Korea now on top. Belgium second. And there was an issue with Netherlands on that exchange. So the Dutch have fallen wayward. Oh, Hyun Min out front for Korea. Fran van Houts for Belgium, losing ground. Time to beat is 3.00.95, and Korea is going to beat that number by about 2.5 seconds. Belgium second, also under that 3-minute number put up by Germany. So there are your leaders now with one more heat to go. Korea comes in. And there is a look at Dijs of the Netherlands. Again, the exchange, the culprit. Angel Dalaman sliding back saying, hey, what happened there? What a reaction. Sorry. My bad. It is a low pressure event, as you can see. So Korea 2:57.29. Belgium at 2:59.42. The Netherlands officially disqualified, just like Italy was in the opening heats. So the straight on look should lead us now into the issue with the exchange. And I think the issue right there with Dijs, I think he miscounted the laps. Did I see him put 4 fingers up as if to say, was that the 4th lap? I think he miscounted the laps. I think that was the issue on the Dutch faulty exchange. I don't think Dijs made a move to get ready to be exchanged. Well, that's as elementary as they come. Sesame Street's Count Von Count would be very disappointed at Dijs. Oops. So Korea, there are your leaders. Kim Min-sun, Oh Hyun-min. So one more heat to go. And there are the Canadians, and she is everywhere, right? Even Blondine of Team Canada is ubiquitous on speed skating ice. If there's an event to be raced, she's in it. And there's Blondine on the left side of your screen. She'll be out there along with Zhao Yan-kun of Canada. Poland with Igor Czajcik, Jaka Pietrowski. And China will have Sun Joinani and Chen Nayu.
Go to the start.
China won gold in Salt Lake City. Poland was on the podium once last year and will be hero with the silver.
Ready.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times over the last couple of weeks, even Blondine has skated a race, won a medal, gone to the podium for the medal ceremony, and then been right back on the ice within 5, 10, 15 minutes. She's doing it again. She just stood for the silver medal ceremony a few minutes ago for the women's mass start. Now she's back on the ice again. 3 laps in total, and her weekend in Nagano will be over. And now getting ready for the first exchange. And yeah, there seems to be a little bit of chaos there. There's the exchange from Blondine to Zhao. So Canada is out front with Poland. Poland has Pietrowski now on the ice. Zhao for Canada. Chen for China. Catching up to the front 2. And guaranteed nobody's going to lose track of the lap counts in this heat. Poland, Canada, China, 1, 2, 3. And one more lap before the exchange here. And there you see the gathering on the infield waiting. They're all looking over their right shoulders, trying to time their liftoff, right? So here they come. It's all about timing and it's about angles. And here comes the exchange. Will it all be clean? Well, Blondine has kind of got slingshotted forward. Canada looked like it almost missed the exchange. Turns out to be a great one. And Blondine right now is second. China in the lead. Poland shifted to third. So the final 2 laps on the women's side, the men will close it out. But again, how important are these exchanges? They are everything in this race. And you can tell a lot of these skaters are exchanging for the first time. Pretty green at it. China and Canada inches away. A little bit of a gap to Poland. So now getting ready for the last exchange. Blondine makes an inside pass. Canada now in the lead. Zhao turns on the motor. Looking over his shoulder, waiting for Blondine. Here she comes, threading the needle. Nice clean exchange there for Canada. And that's probably going to do it as long as Zhao remains on his blades. China second, Poland third. That was a textbook exchange from Blondine to Zhao. And so Zhao races down the back straight. Final half lap. Blondine is going to be on the podium one more time. So Zhao around the final corner. And Canada, the time to beat is 2:57.29. And the time will not be good enough, but Canada will be on the podium, finishing third. So the win goes to Korea, 2:57.29. Belgium wins silver. Canada, with Blondine and Zhao, will win the bronze. And Blondine on another podium. And fortunately for her, there's no more racing. And Team Korea. Oh, Hyo-min, Kim In-sung collaborate on gold. Belgium with Wielen and Van Hout take silver. And it's Blondine and Zhao for Canada for mixed relay bronze. Entertaining event, I must say. I've called a lot of short track over the last 6 or 7 years. This does bring certainly a different feel to speed skating. You know, there's a short track element certainly of it, and it's fun to kind of watch these athletes almost learn as we go, because these exchanges, some of them were made to look like, you know, calculus formulas trying to figure it out. And others had a much easier time. But I think there's a place in this sport for an event like this. I like it. I think it's on the schedule for 2 of the 6 World Cups this year. But, you know, as they try to grow the sport, pick up new interest and other more general sports fans to watch the sport of speed skating, I think this helps. I think this can attract some more fans with a little bit more kind of action-oriented and a little bit more unpredictability to an event. So there you see the final results. Korea, Belgium, Canada, gold, silver, bronze. Couple of DQs on exchanges. Knock out Italy, knock out the Dutch. So that is going to wrap up World Cup Nagano. But we will be right back with you next weekend from Beijing, China. We go back-to-back weeks for the first couple of weeks of this World Cup season. Coverage will begin once again on Peacock on overnight Thursday into Friday here in North America. Or if you're watching on the ISU YouTube channel, check your local listings, check your times on when it will start in your time zones. We will have coverage of the 3-day World Cup event in Beijing beginning next weekend, and then we will take pause before the World Cup returns in Calgary and Milwaukee in late January, then to Poland, then to the Netherlands in late February, early March. All of that in advance of the World Single Distance Championships in the middle of March. have the all-around also late March, the European Championships in the middle of January. So the calendar just beginning. The first couple events in the books. 4 continents last week, and now the first World Cup event is closed here in Nagano. Boy, what a weekend it was. Another record-setting weekend for the American Jordan Stolz. He claims gold in all 4 of his individual events. He runs his individual World Cup winning streak to 12. Meanwhile, Miho Takagi, a couple of golds for Japan in the 1,000 and in the 1,500. Even Blondin is on several podiums, winning the 3,000 meter, taking silver in the mass start, taking bronze here in the mixed relay. And who can forget the 500-meter win on opening nights on the men, or probably on the women's side, by the 21-year-old Japanese sprinter Yukino Yoshida. Shocked the speed skating world, finished a very close 4th today in the second run of the 500 that was claimed by the Olympic champion Aaron Jackson. So that is going to wrap up our coverage here from Nagano, Japan. Hope you enjoyed the coverage all weekend long. And again, we'll be back with you from Beijing, China next weekend for the second stop of the 2024-2025 ISU World Cup season. So for our entire crew, for all of you watching on Peacock in North America, for all of you watching internationally on the YouTube channel of the ISU, we thank you. Patrick Keenis saying so long from Nagano, where World Cup 1 of the new season is closed. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Victory Ceremony for Mixed Relay。メダルは国際スケート連盟副会長トロン・エスペリより、副賞は長野スケート連盟会長野口幸俊より授与されます。The presenters are Mr. Tron Espeni, ISU Vice President for the medals, and Yukitoshi Noguchi, President of Nagano Skating Federation, for the gift. Third place, Team Canada, Ivory Blondin and Yang Zhao.
Thank you.
Second place, Team Belgium, Robert Bevan and Frank Vanderpool. First place, Team Republic of Korea, Vincent Kim and Yun-Min Oh.皆様、メダリストたちにもう一度盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。This is a big round of applause to the medalists. 以上でミックスリレー競技の表彰式を終了いたします。This concludes the mixed relay victory ceremony.
ご来場の皆様、これをもちまして2024-25ワールドカップ